Mr. Sneeze by Roger Hargreaves. A tissue, onomatopoeia, a word describing the sound being made. Definition, used to show the sound of someone sneezing. Example, the dragon went a tissue and out came a little puff of smoke. Capital, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, the most important city in a country where the government operates from. Example, London is the capital city of my country. Common, adjective, a word that describes a person, place or thing. Definition, happening often, existing in large numbers or in many places. Example, it's common for kids to have cell phones nowadays. Country, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, an area of land that has or used to have its own government, laws and currency. Example, Australia is considered both a continent and a country. Cure, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, a medicine or medical treatment that restores health. Example, there is no cure for the common cold. Different, adjective, a word that describes a person, place or thing. Definition, not the same as anything else, not like anyone else. Example, American English is different from British English. Direction, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, the general position a person or thing moves or points towards. Example, all the birds flew in the same direction. Disappeared, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition, to have become impossible to see or find. Example, the magician disappeared when his trick didn't work. Freezing, adjective, a word that describes a person, place or thing. Definition, extremely cold, having temperatures that are below 0 degrees Celsius. Example, after playing in the snow, we were all freezing cold. Gloomy, adjective, a word that describes a person, place or thing. Definition, nearly dark or poorly lit in a way that makes you feel sad or hopeless. Example, he had to walk through the gloomy forest to get back home. Handkerchiefs, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, a small piece of material that is used for blowing your nose. Example, my dad has many different handkerchiefs. Imagine, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition, to form a picture in your mind of what something might be like. Example, the man was asked to imagine his favourite food. Journey, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, an act of travelling from one place to another, especially when they are far apart. Example, every summer we go on a long car journey to see my grandparents. Magic, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, the secret power of appearing to make impossible things happen by saying special words or performing special actions. Example, pulling a rabbit out of a hat is a common magic trick. Melt, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition, to make something become liquid as a result of heating it. Example, you should eat your ice cream quickly so it doesn't melt. Miles, noun, a word used to name people, places or things. Definition, a unit for measuring distance equal to 1,609 meters or 1,760 yards. Example: the maximum speed limit in the UK is 70 miles per hour. Mirror, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition: a piece of special flat glass that reflects images so that you can see yourself when you look in it. Example: the Queen asked the mirror if she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Muttered, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: to have spoken or said something in a quiet voice that was difficult to hear, especially because you were annoyed about something. Example: she muttered something in his ear that scared him. Near, preposition, used before a noun to show its time or place. Definition: at a short distance away from somebody or something. Example: I want to live near the sea. Nonsense, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition: ideas, statements, or beliefs that you think are silly or not true. Example: Mr. Nonsense is my favourite Mr. Men story because it's so silly. North Pole, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition: the point on the surface of the earth that is furthest north. Example: do you know who lives at the North Pole? Noticed, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: to have become aware of somebody or something. Example: he noticed there was a hole in the floor and jumped over it. Pointed, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: to have stretched out your finger towards somebody or something in order to show where they or it was. Example: she pointed to the moon. Sneeze, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: to have air come suddenly and noisily out through your nose and mouth in a way that you cannot control. Example: you should always cover your mouth and nose when you sneeze. Snowing, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: when small, soft, white pieces, called flakes, of frozen water fall from the sky in cold weather. Example: the children didn't have to go to school because it was snowing. Somewhere, adverb, a word that describes how something is done. Definition: used to indicate being in, at, or to a place that you do not know or is not specified. Example: the lady lost her purse somewhere earlier today. Special, adjective, a word that describes a person, place, or thing. Definition: not ordinary or usual, different from what is normal, more important than others, deserving or getting more attention than usual. Example: they made her feel extra special on her birthday. Surprising, adjective, a word that describes a person, place, or thing. Definition: the feeling caused when something happens that is sudden or unexpected. Example: it's not surprising that the students who revise do well on their tests. Transported, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition: to take somebody or something from one place to another in a vehicle. Example, they were transported all over the countryside in hot air balloons. Wand, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition, a straight, thin stick that is held by somebody when performing magic or magic tricks. Example, his wand was broken after his spell backfired. Waved, verb, a word that shows an action. Definition, to have moved your hand or arm from side to side in the air in order to have attracted attention or said hello, goodbye, etc. Example, the teacher waved goodbye to her students. Winter, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition, the coldest season of the year, which happens between autumn and spring. Example, she won the gold medal at the Winter Olympics. Wise, adjective, a word that describes a person, place, or thing. Definition, able to make sensible decisions and give good advice because of the experience and knowledge that you have. Example, I am lucky to have such a kind and wise grandpa. Wizard, noun, a word used to name people, places, or things. Definition, a man with magical powers. Example, Merlin is a famous wizard from British folklore. Mr. Sneeze by Roger Hargreaves, as read by Teacher Reese. This is Coldland, which is a country somewhere near the North Pole. The weather in Coldland is winter all the time. When it isn't snowing, it's freezing, and when it isn't freezing, it's snowing, so you can imagine how cold it is. Because it's so cold in Coldland, everybody who lives there is cold as well. You can tell if somebody comes from Coldland because everybody there has a red nose. And people in Coldland aren't the only ones with red noses. In Coldland you can see red-nosed dogs chasing red-nosed cats, chasing red-nosed mice. In Coldland you can even see red-nosed elephants. And what you hear most of the time in Coldland is a noise that sounds like this. Ah, tissue! The sound of the sneeze is very common indeed in Coldland, which is not very surprising, is it? This is the story of Mr. Sneeze, who lived in a small, snow-covered cottage in Shiver Town, the capital of Coldland. Every morning, Mr. Sneeze woke up, sneezed, got up, sneezed, got dressed, sneezed, went downstairs, sneezed, ate his breakfast, sneezed, and went to work, still sneezing. I don't like this sneezing all the time, he thought to himself every day, until one day he decided to leave Coldland and try to find a cure for the sneezes. So that very same day, Mr. Sneeze packed the things he'd need for his journey, mainly handkerchiefs, sneezed, locked his front door, sneezed, and set off. He walked and sneezed and walked his way across Coldland, and then he sneezed and walked and sneezed for days and days until Coldland was far behind. As he walked away from Coldland, he noticed that there was less and less snow, and eventually he walked so far that there was no snow at all. And as he walked, he noticed something else. He wasn't walking and sneezing, he was walking and walking. For the first time in his life, he wasn't sneezing. Not at all, not a bit, not even the tiniest tissue. I wonder why I'm not sneezing, he thought to himself. But he must have thought his thought out loud to himself, because a voice behind him replied, "You're not sneezing because you haven't got a cold." Mr. Sneeze jumped, turned, and there behind him stood a wise old wizard. "What's a cold?" asked Mr. Sneeze. "A cold is what you catch when you're too cold," said the wise old wizard, wisely. "Oh," said Mr. Sneeze, but I come from a country called Coldland, where everybody is too cold all the time." "Nonsense," snorted the wizard. "It can't be too cold all the time because of the sun," and he pointed to the sun, which was smiling in the sky. "But we don't have any sun in Coldland," said Mr. Sneeze. "No sun!" exclaimed the wizard. "How extremely extraordinarily extraordinary! We'd better do something about that then, hadn't we?" "Yes," agreed Mr. Sneeze, not quite knowing what the wizard was talking about. "How far away is this place called Coldland?" asked the wizard. "Oh, it's miles and miles and miles away," replied Mr. Sneeze. "In which direction?" asked the wizard. Mr. Sneeze pointed. "Shouldn't take long," said the wizard, who then waved his wand and muttered some magic words which wouldn't be magic if we told you what they were. Whatever those magic words were, they worked. Before you could say sneeze, both the wizard and Mr. Sneeze were transported to Shivertown, which you will remember is the capital of Coldland. As usual, it was snowing. "I say, this is a cold, gloomy place," said the wizard. "Ah, tissue!" replied Mr. Sneeze, who had started sneezing again. "Coldland certainly needs some sunshine," said the wizard, "and that's going to take some rather special magic." "Please hurry up," said Mr. Sneeze, who was rapidly turning into a snowman. "Now," said the wizard, ignoring him, "I'm going to say some magic words, and I want you to sneeze 3 times immediately afterwards." The wise old wizard then held up his magic wand and muttered some more magic words, which again wouldn't be magic if we told you what they were. "A tissue! A tissue! A tissue!" sneezed Mr. Sneeze. Then quite suddenly, as if by magic, which indeed it was, the sun came out from behind the big black clouds, and it stopped snowing. "There now," said the wizard, "that should stop the sneezing." And then, after muttering some more magic words, and without waiting to even say goodbye, he disappeared. Mr. Sneeze just stood there in the sunshine, watching the snow begin to melt. After that, the sun shone every day, and today Coldland isn't anything like it used to be. You can't see red-nosed dogs chasing red-nosed cats chasing red-nosed mice anymore. And these days, the sound of the sneeze is a very uncommon sound indeed. And even Mr. Sneeze doesn't sneeze anymore. And that isn't the only thing different about Mr. Sneeze, as he discovered himself when he looked in the mirror one morning. Can you see what was different about Mr. Sneeze? It happened one other time too. See if you can find the page where that was.